How did partnering with OSO support Webflow's broader roadmap? And what is that first feature that OSO enabled Webflow to build?
We quickly figured out that our legacy homegrown solution was going to be really hard, close to impossible, but never say impossible, to support like what was on the roadmap. And a lot of what was on our roadmap was around resource level fine grained access. So like Webflow had quite a robust set of like permissions, access control around what a user can do. Like, can they edit a page? Can they publish a site to production? Can they create a variable? Can they like edit a component, right? Like that was all there in the system with our default roles as well as our custom role solution. What we had zero of was like once the user's in the site, they could do anything. Like do any of those permissions in any type of resource. So they could touch all locales. Like we have this feature called locales if you want to translate your site for different regions. They could touch all CMS collections or content management system. And that was like the big gap. And at the resource level, admins wanted to be able to restrict where a user in the site can make changes, not just what they can do, but where they can do it, right? So on the roadmap, and I'll start with like what we actually shipped first was access control for CMS collection. This is how teams can manage their dynamic content in Webflow. So, things like their blog post or job listing or products or, I don't know, team members. So instead of like hard coding pages, you define a structure once, design how that content should look like across your site, and then use the CMS for like dynamic updates here. And so one of the key things that customer mentioned is like, I'd really love it to bring in my content team, but they're like not as technical and they're going to mess things up. So I'd really like to restrict them to just like the blog collection. Or I'd love to bring in HR to be able to update the job listings, but they shouldn't touch anything else. So we started with this use case very intentionally because it's relevant to all of our enterprise customers because everyone is using the CMS. And it was one that had been asked for years. But next on the roadmap, so still to come, is locale fine-grained access control. So that's an add-on for enterprise customers. They'd love to bring in, folks in regions to actually manage their locale, but not touch like their primary US locale. And today that's just simply not possible. And then after like page level access control, so maybe you want to bring in folks just to touch the pricing page, but not your homepage ever. Like don't touch your homepage. So those are just like some of the features of the roadmap. We shipped CMS first, locales, page levels coming next, and the list is really long, but it's because of OSO that we were able to unlock these like fine grained resource level access use cases.